don't know if y'all
Not
remember
too
this young bull right here. I don't know if y'all remember this guy with the crazy hair. But we're finally cutting the hair off, right? We're cutting the top down. Proud of you. You know, looks so much
should be
better.
proud of my mom.
Oh, you didn't want it? Your mom's forcing you? Good, as she should. Bro, you don't even know what shirt you got on.
You should do 2 parts.
Okay, boy. YouTube, what is going on, guys? Listen, we got a follow-up video to this one, and the reason why is because we got a story behind this. So his hair was disconnected. He was getting his hair braided, and his mom was fed up with it because he wasn't getting his hair braided often enough, and he wasn't taking care of his hair when it wasn't braided. So she wanted me to take off quite a bit, and I still felt like I didn't take off that much. But boy, was he upset when he saw how much hair I took off. And this is my nephew. So the next video after this will show you guys what it looks like up to date. This haircut was probably a month ago from today, which is today's October 28th. So this was back in September. And pretty much what I was doing was taking I took the first section I cut his fringe so it would be a certain length at his eyebrows pretty much, or right below his eyebrows, just so that he could see, and then I used that to be my guide for the rest of the haircut. So we worked with sections all the way through till we got to the back and cut whatever length that was, and then after it curls up, I'll take a look at it and then we'll mess with it. Now it's not, look, he's already super upset. He's super upset. You can see it in his face. I think he got to the point where he almost wanted to cry. But that's like a common thing I feel like with kids. They get so mad about not being able to get the cut that they want. But yo, growing up, I wasn't allowed to have no haircut like this. It was getting cut all the way off, or whatever my mom felt like I should have. I didn't really have much say. But anyways, what I'm attempting to do, since he's not getting braids anymore, is I'm attempting to get it to blend into the sides. Look, he is mad. To get it to blend into the sides. And it's not going to happen because it was severely disconnected. But we're going to style it. Hopefully it'll kind of blend in just a tad bit. And then I'm going to fade it out. So obviously it's still disconnected. The one thing I'm going to tell you that I wish I would have done with this haircut as we're diffusing it. So this diffuser is going to dry the curls without creating a whole bunch of air movement through the hair and causing a bunch of frizziness. All right. It's pretty much baking the curls into place. And you can do this pretty much with any hair texture, any hair pattern. If you just kind of want to bake something into place, this is what you would use. So anyways, the one thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have made the fade higher, just because it's so disconnected right now. You'll see towards the end how it just doesn't look like it could have looked better, is all I'm saying. But on the next video, the follow-up video that I'm going to drop here on this channel, you'll see what it looks like now doing the same exact fade, and how allowing the hair to grow into the top and then cutting it so that it blends into the top with this exact fade is going to look so much better. So I'm keeping that into consideration. This is pretty much the ugly stage of going from severely disconnected to really long hair where he was getting braids, to going to curls and a fade. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to show this video to you so that you guys kind of saw the steps, like the phases, I should say. So we balded him out. We cut the top. We balded him out. He's super upset. We're going to put the shaver on the sides, get it nice and light, and then we'll start the fade process. All right, so the fade process is going to be with my Babyliss FXs. These are custom FXs, and I'm going with my blade all the way open. And I'm going to go ahead and close it all the way and then open it little by little as we go up until it's faded out. Don't focus so much on the steps as opposed to focusing on what you're creating. You know, like the same steps is not going to work every single time. So you can use the same steps as a baseline, but you're going to have to focus more on what those steps are creating. And so if it's not fading in or creating a transition, then you're gonna have to move outside of those steps, those rules, right, to create the look that you're trying to create. Hopefully that made sense to you. And we're just gonna do this all the way around. Now on this side, I'm fading down. So you could do that. You can go from clipper all the way open to closing it a little bit to closing a little bit until it's faded out. Doesn't matter if you fade down from each of these sections or you fade up. The goal is to get it to fade, to blend that bottom line into that section. And then your next step is going to be to blend this line that's still there after fading out this section. The next step is to fade the next line into the length above it. And so doing it in steps is just pretty much keeping you organized. If you break it down to smaller steps, like smaller sections, and you do a nice detailed cut in each of those sections, the equation, what it's going to equal to is a good blend. So now we're using our 1.5 guard closed, and then above that we're using our number 2 guard open, probably then closed, and that should fade into the top. Now we're not going to connect these curls because remember what we started with was super disconnected, but I want to at least look like it's connected slightly. And the reason why it's going to look connected slightly is because it's going to be the same color tone, right? So it's going to be dark still. Look at his face. Look at my nephew's face. He's so upset. Bro, I can't wait till he gets older and I show him this video again. I'm not trying to embarrass my young nephew. This is totally normal. I feel like when kids ain't getting the cut that they want, but it's gonna be fun to show him when he's older. We'll laugh about it. But he's a really awesome kid, man. Really awesome kid. Love him to death. He's just a young bull. That's all. All right, so once we've gone ahead and did the number 2, I can go ahead and start fading down to blend out that line that's sitting there in the middle. So we did the 1.5 guard all the way open, then we're gonna go all the way closed. And once this portion is done, we'll go to our next guard lower than the 1.5 to continue to blend out this section so that line vanishes. When that line vanishes, the fade's complete besides the detailing portion. So after the 1.5 guard close, I'm gonna drop down to the 1/2 guard all the way open, using corners the higher or the closer I get to where I use the 1.5, okay? And then closing it little by little as I go down until that line is gone. Now remember, if that line is still there, that's fine. You're gonna just drop down to whatever you use to create that line to take that line out. And that's not necessarily raising the fade, that's just blending 2 parts of the haircut into one another by overlapping the first portion of this fade into the second portion of this fade. And it's looking pretty good from here, but you'll see when the cut is finished. I wish I would have spread it out maybe a little bit more. And then maybe that would have made it look like the fade was kind of going into the curls a little bit more. But again, it being disconnected was tough. and you gotta let it grow out, you know. So again, you'll see on the follow-up video when I cut his hair a month later, which I already have that video, just so you guys know. I'll probably drop it like either the same day as this video or the very next day, so look out for that. And so we're repeating the same steps on this side, so I'm going to shut up for a second and let you guys follow along with the color guide on the bottom left corner. Guys, the back seems to always be that place, especially with younger adults that have fuller hair, darker hair. It tends to look a bit darker. So from this angle, I always try to make sure that the fade is flowing nicely into the back. Alright, so we'll begin the lineup, and I'm starting off with his C cup, getting it nice and defined. That way we can try to figure out how symmetrical we can make his hairline. Then we'll go ahead and start with our corners and then create our vertical bar. Now that I have a outline of the fade, I can see the fade better and spend a little bit of time with detailing. So once we've done that, I'll go ahead and start to continue with his hairline. We did the middle to the corner, and now we're going to do the left corner to the middle and make sure that it's all symmetrical and even. Now we'll create the C cup, making sure that it matches the other C cup as far as the corner between the vertical bar and the C cup, right? That peak point matches, and we want to make sure the vertical bars match on both sides as well. That's looking pretty good from this view. It's looking pretty symmetrical. So now I decided to do a little bit of clip over comb for some of the curls that were overlapping, and do some clip over comb for some of the bulk here to try to kind of bring it all together a little bit better. And I'm using the clipper almost like a guard, guys. Alright, y'all, so this is the craziness, the before, what he wanted to keep so bad, and then this is the after. So the fade is blurry. Again, could have been connected a little bit better. But I'm excited to show you guys the newest version of his cut now that it's all grown out. That's my nephew, upset as hell. Look at him, but the boy look good. The boy look good. It's a good looking kid. I call him the young bad bunny. Alright guys, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Look out for the next one, the follow-up cut. Let me know what you thought about this one. Smash the like button, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all.